Nom, nom, nom. Good early morning, everyone. Welcome to 15 Rounds of Flambé. And unless you can see the New York Jets and the New York Giants, we are doing a special edition 15 rounds for the opening day of the NFL, opening day of football tomorrow. And we're hyped. We're ready for it. And, I mean, we're doggone up at 8:30 in the morning to do this. Let's go. Are you
It,
ready, Matthew? Let's
I'm,
go.
I'm glad that it's the NFL and everything, but I just kind of wanted to relax a little. We don't usually record this early, so it should
I
be
gotta go to work in
interesting.
an hour. I'm still ready. Again, we are here, Matthew, Aaron. We're really excited. We're really tired. We're really up early, and it's just we're getting jumping right into things here on 15 rounds of Flambé. NFL starting up tomorrow. Fantasy drafts are already done. Matthew, what are you looking forward to this season? We're gonna jump right into it. What do you?
I feel like, obviously going through the season, I feel the biggest story to me, no question, is the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Tom Brady, like being out the first four games and giving like the rest of the NFC, AFC East the slightest chance of hope of trying to get that division for the first time since he missed the entire 2008 season. But I still feel like they're the favorites going in, even though they're gonna miss their best player.
I mean, I'm a diehard Jets fan, unless people could tell. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Brady being out 4 games. But I do. Oh yeah, no, I can't wait. But of course, we don't have him. Just don't play him during those 4 games. But I don't know. I just feel like when it boils down to it, that the Patriots are still the favorite. The Jets haven't won the division since 2001 or 2002 when Herman Edwards was the coach. Chad Pennington was our quarterback, and Curtis Martin was our running back. So that's going back a little while. Yeah, 14 years. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I was a little kid. But yeah, no, my thing I'm looking forward to into the season is a couple things. I want to see if Cam Newton can have the same kind of production and the same kind of dominance that he had last season. I want to see if what some of these rookies can do. Some of the second year players, Todd Gurley, if he can stay healthy through the full season and like become the big stud that everyone's thinking that he's going to be in LA. And I'm curious to see how this whole Colin Kaepernick scenario is going to play out. We haven't been able to touch on it as much as we would like to because we've been off, but I'm curious to see how this is all gonna happen. His jersey sales have skyrocketed to the #1 selling jersey. He's getting a lot more support than he was in the beginning. He's even having Megan Rapinoe from the U.S. women's soccer team kneeling alongside him, and a couple other players. So I want to see how that scenario is all going to play out. But this is going to be a crazy NFL season, either way.
I was gonna say those are like all interesting points because like the Colin Kaepernick situation, like you saw like with Megan Rapinoe, you saw Jeremy Lane the other day against the Seahawks. I mean when they were playing San Francisco and he started sitting too. So it's interesting to see if like more players are gonna do this and like with Todd Gurley, the Rams are back in LA. LA has football for the first time since I don't know since
93.
NWA was prevalent. And like Cam, like you said, Cam's a superstar. Like he was the MVP last season. It's gonna be interesting to see how that team rebounds because teams that usually lose the Super Bowl the next season usually struggle. So I don't think they're gonna struggle. I think they're still gonna win that division, but it's gonna be interesting to see how Cam like follows up after his great season last season.
All right, I gotta ask a quick question. Over under 15 suspensions this year from Roger Goodell.
Um, I'm gonna go under.
Go under. Wow. I kind of want to push it.
Maybe like I feel like if the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room, I don't know, they decided to go nuts again, then I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I'd say it's either gonna. No, I'm gonna go over. I won't make it a push. I'll go over. Speaking of Steelers, shout out to a guy that me and Matthew both grew up with, Tyler Medikevich, All American linebacker at Temple.
Congrats, Tyler. I was so proud to see that he had made the team.
I'm saying going back to Stratford Pop Warner, St. Joe state titles over at Temple, Milford Academy even then. So shout outs to you, Ty. Congratulations on making the team, and hopefully we get to see you this year. Dirty Red number 44.
The NFL kicks off tomorrow with the Super Bowl rematch with the Panthers and the Broncos starting in Denver. And what are your thoughts about like this Super Bowl matchup again? Do you think it's going to play out the same way?
I mean, here's the thing about it. First of all, this is two entirely different teams. The Panthers don't have Josh Norman. Cam Newton's another year older. People got to see him, prepare for him. Oh yeah, and Peyton Manning's not quarterbacking the Broncos. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, seeing the way that Peyton played at the end of last season. But I mean, it's just I think the Panthers are gonna win, kind of heavy here. I think it's gonna be like a 27-13 game. Because I don't think the Broncos are going to be able to score the ball. Like, they're just not going to be able to score the ball.
That's kind of how I see it too. I see like the Panthers winning 20-14, and then this would like break a trend because usually in like in the past 12 years, only 2 times has like the Super Bowl winning team not won the opener, and of course one of those is when the Giants lost one time.
Because the
And
Giants
I'm
don't win.
I
The
just
Giants don't win their first game of the season
yeah,
ever.
like we were looking at that ridiculous stat, but we'll talk about that later. But I just feel like the Panthers. I mean, even though they lost Josh Norman, he was not the best defensive player on that team. That's obviously Luke Kuechly. And I feel like even though secondary is kind of like a weak point right now, they're facing an inexperienced quarterback. They're not facing like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers who can like pick apart that secondary. And I just feel like Denver, even though their defense is still very elite, they lost some key pieces like Malik Jackson, who kind of created other opportunities for other linebackers, like say DeMarcus Rand, Von Miller. So I'm like, I'm kind. I know Carolina's going to win this game and win the division, but I feel like Denver's. They may even miss the playoffs this season.
I don't know if I'm gonna go as far as say they're gonna miss the playoffs because I mean their defense is still elite. Their defense is gonna be put in tough situations. But speaking from a fan of a team that is always put in tough situations, well, no, Fitzpatrick's been playing better, but I just suck weighing the Jets in there somehow. But I think that they're going to be okay. Maybe 9-7, 10-6. I haven't got a chance to look at their schedule yet, but their defense is that good. Even though they are going to be missing some pieces, their defense is still that good where it's going to push them above and beyond. Like I said, Peyton Manning was a shell of himself last season, and they still were able to win the Super Bowl with that great of a defense. They were able to beat Tom Brady. Yes, it was in Mile High, and yes, they almost blew it, but they still were
Now,
able
I
to.
wouldn't say almost. I just say the Patriots almost just did their thing again.
I just know. I just remember watching that game, and I was talking to one of my friends who's a big Patriots fan. I actually lost a bet to him when I was in school, and I had to walk around with a Tom Brady jersey all day. I felt like first thing I did when I got back in my dorm was take a shower because I just felt disgusting. But I was texting him, and when they were going down the field, I literally was like, "Trust me, I feel like the ball's gonna go to I don't know Gronk in a seam." 2 seconds later, Gronk down the middle, touchdown, Patriots!
I thought the
Like,
same.
oh yeah, that was.
I really thought the Patriots were gonna pull it out somehow, but like you said, that Denver defense did it again. Like I feel like I see like the same range. I feel like maybe 10-6 is like optimist, and I see like maybe 9-7, even 8-8. I actually see Kansas City winning that division because I believe Andy Reid's one of the best coaches in football, and Alex Smith, he is a good quarterback, even though he doesn't like.
He's the best quarterback manager, game manager in the NFL. Like he does it to the
I
point
really
where
like
he's
Alex Smith,
almost
and
like
like just going back like at Carolina and Denver, looking at the whole NFL landscape. Like, who do you think? Who do you predict as like saying who do you see in Super Bowl matchup?
Super Bowl matchup. This is gonna be fun.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
see.
mine.
I'm like it's even before week one, but if I'm gonna go Super Bowl matchups out of the NFC, because I'll take an easy road here. Um, Honestly, I'm going to say I see the Packers coming out of the NFC. Aaron Rodgers with Jordan Nelson back this season for a full season, I think he's going to be able to have that weapon that he's going to be able to do something more with that offense. The big explosive offense that we're used to seeing out of the Packers is going to be there again. So I'll take the Packers coming out of the NFC, and out of the AFC. Realistically, are I gotta I don't want to say the Patriots. I really don't want to say the Patriots, but there's like no one else that kind of like I'll say we get a Super Bowl rematch from a couple years ago. I'll go with the Steelers and I'll go with the Packers.
I'm gonna have a Super Bowl rematch a few years ago too, but I'm gonna have Pittsburgh and I'm gonna have Seattle. Even though I like Aaron Rodgers and I feel like he's the best quarterback in football, I still feel like he's gonna get his best weapon back in Jordan Nelson. That defense is still a little iffy to me, and if Seattle can show up their offensive line, I feel like Russell Wilson can have an MVP season. And I feel like in the AFC, Pittsburgh, once they get their players back healthy and off suspension, I feel like that can be the most explosive offense in the conference.
Yeah,
And
okay.
like their defense has gotten better through the offseason, I think. So I
I,
feel
I,
it's gonna
I
be
like
Seattle and Pittsburgh.
I like Pittsburgh coming out of the AFC because I think Pittsburgh's one of the only teams that could beat New England, and
Yeah,
they
that's another key reason too. I feel.
Ben Roethlisberger, if he can not stay healthy because he's almost always in the game, but if he can still be able to be Ben Roethlisberger, and Antonio Brown's gonna have a huge season. I actually think Antonio Brown might win the MVP this year just because I think he's gonna have an enormous season. Number one pick in fantasy, Ricky Bobby. But no, I like the I could see both of those scenarios playing out. I was torn between in the NFC. I was torn between the Packers, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. But I think the Seahawks and the Cardinals are going to kind of beat up on each other enough where the Packers are going to be like, we're in here.
Yeah.
Well, we have come to the most glorious part of our NFL special, talking about how our Jets and Giants are going to do this year. Matthew, I don't even want to start. How do you think your Giants are going to do?
Like the Giants, I feel like because of the bias, I like they have the 30th, like tied for 30th as like least tough schedule,
Their
and they
schedule is
open
so easy.
at Dallas, New Orleans, Washington, Minnesota, Green Bay, Baltimore, Los Angeles. Then they have the bye. So just being the optimist, I see them going 11-5, but at the pessimist, I see 7-9. So I'm leaning more towards optimism. So I feel like I never, even with Tony Romo, I felt like Dallas wasn't going to win that division because that defense was too suspect for me. Like Philadelphia's in rebuilding mode. And like I thought Washington was the biggest challenge, but I still don't really trust Kirk Cousins. But I feel with Minnesota losing Teddy Bridgewater, I feel like the second place team of that division, Washington or the Giants, is going to win the second wild card. Because the first wild card is going to go to Arizona or Seattle, who doesn't win that
Whoever
division
doesn't
in
win the
NFC
NFC
West.
West. Okay, I can understand that. Well, for the Jets, it literally boils down to 4 games. That's just it. It boils down to 4 games in the middle of the season. I want to say in weeks 3 through 7. The Jets have um, home against Kansas City.
Oh, away at Kansas City.
Oh, it is okay. It is away at Kansas
Yeah,
City.
they had to have away at Kansas City, home versus Seattle, away at Pittsburgh, and away at Arizona.
If they can somehow go 2-2, like I just want to go 2-2 in that stretch. If the Jets can go 2-2, they're in the playoffs. Because they go 2-2, they're going 10-6, and they're in the playoffs. That's they just need to go 2-2.
It's like you said, like that. They opened the season at home against Cincinnati, and
Which I think they should win. I think
then they
I know
go. I
Cincinnati's
disagree with
good, but
that.
I
I
think
feel
they
like
should
Cincinnati,
win that game.
and they play at Buffalo. Then they have the motor as well. It's tough bouncing back from a rough opening. And looking at that opening, being the optimist, I see wins maybe against Kansas City, Buffalo.
I think the thing is, I think they'll beat Kansas City because here's how it breaks down. They play on Sunday against against the Bengals. And then they play on Thursday night against the Bills, which I'm not crazy about. I'm not a big fan of Thursday night games. I don't like Thursday night games.
I mean, I like Thursday night games when they don't involve my team.
Okay, fine. I don't like when my team has to play in Thursday night games because I don't like the turnaround, and it's going to be early in the season. These guys are going to still be sore getting into the groove of things. So I'm not too crazy about that Thursday night game against Buffalo. But then they have 10 whole days to prepare for the Chiefs. It's almost like a bye week. You have 10 whole days. 10 whole days. I think they'll be able to.
I mean, it's just the schedule. I mean, even it's like they're tied for the 7 toughest.
Yeah,
but just from this opening, it's like
it's the
number
first.
one.
It's literally those first 4. It's those four games.
Those first 6 games, and like
it's not even the first 6. I'm not even worried about. I'm not worried until we hit that. I think the Jets could be. I think the Jets could be 2-2. I think they could be 2-2 coming out of the first 2 weeks. And then maybe even 3-0, being optimistic because I think they should beat Kansas City. I think realistically they'll be 2-1 because I don't like Thursday night games, and I don't know how I feel about the Bills. I don't want to have the Bills cost me my season again this year though.
I mean, especially since it's at home in Buffalo, and Rex Ryan always gets up against the Jets. So
I can see.
I've actually watched a few Buffalo preseason games, and even though they look. Tyrod Taylor, I didn't really watch him last season, but he had a pretty good season last year. He had 20 touchdowns, I believe, 5 interceptions. So.
I put it this way: my favorite coaches of all time for the Jets are definitely Herm Edwards and Rex Ryan. I was kind of young when Parcells was there, but those are my 2 favorite. Herm Edwards because we won the division last time we won the division, and we played to win the game. And then with Rex Ryan, just because of the attitude that he brings, and even though he brought that same kind of attitude to Buffalo, I can't be upset about it because that's the same attitude and the same mindset I loved when he was on the Jets. So I mean. I just don't want to get swept by them again this year because they literally cost us the playoffs. If the Jets got in the playoffs last year, they would have. It would have been so good.
I'm fine with what they did to Ryan Fitzpatrick because I would have brought him back. He had a great season for one bad game in the finale. But I was gonna ask, do you think the Jets make the playoffs this season?
Yeah. I think the Jets. Here's the thing. I think the Jets go 10-6 because I think they go 2-2 during that that gauntlet early in the season. So I think they go 2-2 out of that. and then I think they're able to go 10-6. I don't see them winning the division just because I don't see anybody winning that division until Tom Brady retires. So realistically, I see the Jets going 10-6, getting one of the wild card spots, and then once they get into the big dance, I don't know what the heck is gonna happen. I just watch them.
I mean, I was gonna say because after this like very tough schedule, it gets a little easier because even though they play New England twice, they play like Cleveland, Baltimore. They play the coach who I feel like is gonna have a down season. So like with the NFC, where I see the second place team in the West automatically getting that wild card, I feel like the second place team in the AFC North, either Cincinnati or Pittsburgh, is going to get one of those playoffs. The first wild card, and the second wild card is going to be second place team in the AFC East and the second place team in the AFC West. So
The only team that I'm worried about as far as wild card spots is concerned, and this is just me personally because I think they're going to be, I think it's going to be one of the years when they turn the road. It's going to be the Raiders. I really think the Raiders are going to have a good season this year because you got their running back in Murray. You got a good running back in Murray. You got another year under the belt of Amari Cooper and another year under the belt of Derek Carr, who I think is like the next kind of like the next generation, like the passing of the guard of top flight quarterbacks in the NFL. So I'm curious. I'm scared. I'm gonna just watch.
yeah, that's all you can do.
That's all you can do. I wish I could be out there.
The field or anything.
I wish I could be out there. Fireman Ed. Well, that's all the show we have for you guys here. Again, early in the morning, waking up, talking about football. I mean, it's pretty good way to start your day. It's pretty good. Hey, I gotta run to work. I gotta take a shower and get ready and everything. But guys, thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are ready for football. Ready for the season to start. 15 rounds of Flambé. Our fantasy picks are already in. Revis Islanders are gonna win it this year.
Oh, down with the JPP is gonna do it this year. Take it away.
Down with the JPP. Wave at me, Matthew. Dirty joke. Well, again, you guys know the rules. You guys know the drill. Like and subscribe. Down.
I was gonna say, comment below. Let us know, who you think's gonna win the Super Bowl. Who you think's gonna win the MVP? Let us know your football thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. Please let us know if you think the Jets are gonna go 2-14 this year. You were in small company, my friend.
I see. I mean, if we were doing odds, if the prices are just going 14-2 or 2-14, I'm putting everything on 2-14.
Funny. Well, let's talk about the Giants and watch them lose to Dallas on.
We're getting the opening win. I'm tired when we're going to win the opening season.
You guys are going to lose the opener like you always do. Well, again, guys, that's all the show we have. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy football tomorrow, and we will be back on Friday.
See ya.